All right, cool. All right, it's your boy Hometown here with the Beats and Chill podcast. Of course, you don't see Jazz or DJ Raw the Fool, but that's because I don't need them niggas right now. I got a special guest here today. I got the homie Chael. Do you just go by Chael, or is it?
Either one, Chael, Chael Blinya. You can call me Mr. Ain't It. Either one. No, I don't really care.
Got you. All right, I'm gonna just ask you about that. Where you get the Ain't It from?
Oh,
I see it. And I'm like, what's that about?
So I used to do poetry for 2 years, and a lot of poets start off their rants with "Ain't that like a," and then they go on a huge tangent. So I guess I was low key making fun of my poetry brethren, but ain't it? It's pretty catchy, so I stick to that shit.
Gotcha. Okay. Cool. Yeah. All right. I just always figure that I always think it's weird when cats use not their name as their tag name, because then if I don't know you, then I refer you to your tag name. Like, yo, you know, ain't it, right?
Yeah.
Bro, what the fuck is you talking about, bro? Like, ain't it, bro? Like, ain't it?
I mean,
bro, I don't really
it helps
know.
the algorithm.
Got you. Okay.
Because if you on Instagram, if you put your actual artist name on your profile, it doesn't matter what your ad is. Your actual artist name is what pops up on Google if you put it on your profile.
Okay.
Yeah, a lot of people don't know that. So I've changed my ad to a bunch of different shit in the past 2 years, but Ain't It is the one that stuck because that's my ad lib. So it's my most popular ad lib, and it's my ad now.
Okay.
Officially.
So I know we just chopped it up real quick before we started recording, but where are your roots from? Or you said you're not necessarily, you've been in Tampa your whole life.
Yeah.
But if you can share the audience,
Yeah, so I was born in Accra, Ghana. I'm Ghanaian American, but I've lived here since I was 5, and so this is my hometown by default. I love it here.
Yeah.
But but I'm Ghanaian originally, and I'm still Ghanaian. I'm pretty in tune with my culture and shit. We just lost to Uruguay, so I got to deal with that later.
Okay.
World Cup. Waited 12 years to get our ass kicked again.
Right.
Shit crazy.
I did see a video of damn, it was one country. It was I can't remember the name of the country, but it was black dude just kind of going in at somebody Spanish or whatever. Yeah. And it was all right, bro, y'all won, y'all got it. You know what I'm saying? But so the reason why I wanted to chop it up with you, man, because I kept seeing the Coffee Shop Detour, and I was seeing homies like Roselle posting it. I saw other cats that may have performed on it, talking about it. I actually linked up with Efren.
Oh, Efren from We Vegan?
Yeah, he was telling me about it and whatnot too. And I always am big on touring. I want more indie artists to focus on touring in interesting ways. And I thought that was a very interesting way that you spent that. You know what I'm saying? So now that you kind of mentioned you have a poetry background, was that kind of the inspiration why you wanted to do coffee shops?
Yeah, I mean, plus the average venue in Tampa is $500, and I do everything out of pocket.
Right.
And, I had this idea to finish out the real estate cycle because it goes into the concept of my album that I dropped last year. And the only way I can get that done in a short amount of time was to do small venues and tour, because touring is the only reason I'm really still rapping right now. I want to tour, but I can't afford a regional tour or a national tour currently. So I'll just do a local tour, and it'll feel weird at first, but I called it a detour so niggas wouldn't talk shit and be like, that's not a real tour, so it was a detour.
Gotcha, yeah.
But yeah, I was just trying to get the real estate cycle out as quick as possible, because you move into a house, and then a bunch of shit happens with that house, and then that's a whole story. But trying to do $500 venues for even 8 shows is fucking crazy,
Right, yeah.
I don't want to do the math on that.
That venue, the whole communicating venue process, venue management, it's a lot of them that's stuck in traditional ways.
Yeah.
Or they don't really deal with local shows or artists, and they too focused on agencies and stuff. It's a lot. It's a headache for me.
Oh yeah.
And
when they start giving you logistics of flyers, it's oh shit, I just wanted to I didn't know there were flyer logistics.
Okay, so you get to the coffee shop idea, right?
Yeah.
And what about it that you was all right, I'm ready to go with this. I'm gonna do these coffee shops. How did you come across that process?
So last year when I was doing the album, the Surroundings LP, I was working with Takeo. He's one of my homeboys from like high school, and he was just helping me craft the rollout. So we decided.
This Cowboy by Takeo.
Yeah,
Okay.
Cowboy by Takeo. Yeah. So we went to high school together, and he was helping me craft the rollout. And essentially, we decided on 4 singles. But because of budget, I know I can't get all of them done within like a 1-year cycle, like a major label artist. So I'm like, all right, just expand the time of the rollout and then do more shit based on the money I get over time. So first 2 singles were out before the album came out. The 3rd single was Coffee Shop, which is a song on there produced by Roselle Coffee, featuring Weezer. And his name is spelled Coffee with an I-E at the end. And Takeo was like, yo, do a coffee shop tour with acoustic sets only.
Right.
So for about a year, I was trying to get as many coffee shops outside of Tampa and see if I could infiltrate them as best as possible. But that wasn't really feasible for me. So I just made like a huge list of coffee shops that I wanted to perform at. And I'd say about 60% of them didn't respond. And then the 40% that did respond, only about like 10% were really even willing to do anything. And then when it came down to it, there were about 3 coffee shops still on the fence. But when I got 7 to agree, I just stuck to it because I was 3 weeks out of when I needed to really start promoting.
Now, when you say that they were not really agreeing to the idea, was it just like they heard hip hop and was like, nah, that's not really what we want to do here, or did they ever like tell you like that's just not what we want to do? Like,
some of them were worried about noise ordinances. Hip hop definitely was an issue for a lot of them. I don't want to say any names, but honestly, like most people just don't got their shit together, you know. Like, and I think it's kind of weird, even in like businesses, just something as simple as responding to an email on time can go a long way.
For sure.
We got a couple email responses after the fact, but yeah, small shit like simple stuff always affects bigger picture things. So communication is always an issue. But yeah, that's about. I don't think it was anything personal, you know.
Gotcha.
Because if you don't want your business open after hours because you don't want to have to worry about payroll and paying for an employee and stuff, I can understand that.
Gotcha.
You know, I respect like coffee shops like the Lab. Like they just told me like no, but they gave me valid reasoning. It's like, yo, we don't got our insurance together type thing.
Gotcha. Okay. So.
Like liability type stuff, I can understand that.
Yeah, I've actually ran across that when I used to do Beats and Chill at the Bricks. They were like, yo, we got to move you to Saturday because we don't have enough manpower and we can't keep trying to ask people to work an extra day or take on an extra shift on Sundays. Can you please move to Saturday? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I definitely get that. So you started the coffee shop tour.
Yep.
You start posting it, starting to pick up some momentum. What are the coffee shops saying then? Like after you've done it, are they saying like, yo, next time you're doing it, like hit us up? Like is it like a good experience once the shows is done, or is it like, yo, your crowd was really obnoxious, like this is done?
I mean, nobody had an issue. I think for me, doing it during like the fall was ideal, but I wanted to do it a month before.
Got you.
I didn't want to have to deal with Halloween.
Got you.
And then potentially like Thanksgiving. So we cut it off before Thanksgiving, but we still had to deal with Halloween.
Right.
And during that time period, a lot of like attendance did dip down. You know, like just like random things like Bloom, right? Initially, I was booked to do Bloom, but then that kind of changed because I forgot his name who runs Bloom.
Oh, Tony.
Yeah, he said he wanted to like revamp it. So
Got you.
like,
Yeah.
We still had Cafe Head, and like, okay, I'm doing 7 shows. I wanted to do 8 shows initially, so I couldn't afford doing 6. Now the detour doesn't really feel as much of a thing, you know.
Right.
So like, I still did Cafe Head, but that was during Halloween. So like now I gotta like essentially I had to make a show on the whim, book my homies, and try to get attendance as best as possible. But like certain shows dip down in attendance, and I still think it was a good thing because every show had a different thing going for it. You know, some shows attendance was the big thing. Other shows it was just kind of like, dang, like this is the best lineup we've had.
How was the response to having guest appearances on
The Coffee Shop
shows?
Detour?
Yeah, like were they like, yo, I'm down to do it, bro? Or was it like, what are we doing for real? You know what I mean?
I mean, a few people said no, and I respect them for it. But I think for me, I wanted to get like a bulk of like a bucket of artists who would reoccur on the tour, so it'd be easier to pull from. and then just get a few people just sprinkled in just to keep it fresh.
Gotcha.
You know, the challenge was hosting the shows and then performing after.
Right.
Like just multitasking, like running the events and then hosting it, and then okay, at the end of it, perform. That was like the biggest challenge for me, just wearing multiple hats. But like, I didn't really have a lot of issues with people trying to perform at the shows.
That multiple hats thing is a lot.
Yeah,
That shit is a lot. When we did Tampa Beat Weekend last summer, and like, even though I had hired staff, I'm still like, I got to host on stage. I got to check on my staff. I got to check on the artists. I got to check on the venue manager. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Then it's like, maybe there's an issue outside with parking and somebody's coming to me about something. It's like, all over the place. And you still got to like, I didn't have to perform. So, you know what I'm saying? So I definitely agree. I definitely know exactly, you know, that headache that can be. But one of the things, like, I missed out on the coffee shop tour. Like, I kept seeing it, and I'm like, damn, I can't do it. I got to work. Or, damn, I got to go take care of this, right?
Yeah.
So, like, for those who missed out, like myself, is there any type of documentation that you took? Or, like, is there anything filmed that could be, like a recap?
Yeah, like, everything is recapped on my my page. The only thing I don't have recapped is the Pop Goes the Waffle show. Mainly because there wasn't a lot to, like, like, I have it on my phone, but, like, I'm like, there's not a lot of footage to, like, make a recap.
Got you.
But, like, that was one of those, like, nights where I'm like, okay, the attendance isn't as high. But, like, if you were there, you enjoyed what you did.
Yeah.
You didn't what you didn't. But, like, that was a good night financially.
Right.
You know what
and
I'm saying?
I think too, like, that's a discouraging thing for some artists, the attendance. And it's like, yo, you ain't gonna be able to rock 500 if you can't rock 5. You feel what I'm saying? And it's like, the purpose of it is like, touring is just really just like the on the ground guerrilla marketing of promoting a product. Whether you're trying to promote merch and just the music is just additive, or it's the music and you got all these other things at play. You know what I'm saying? But it's like, sometimes when you in markets that you probably haven't really participated in, you're not gonna have a huge audience, but you still gotta rock, because those people are gonna be like the speaker box for you. You know what I mean? And I think that's why I was like, man, this is really dope. And we need to see more people not do coffee shop detours, but just do creative things around EPs, singles, or whatever, instead of just a quick, yo, pre-save, post, you know, make a TikTok dance or whatever. You know what I mean? It's like, creative rollouts help, to me, I think, help the overall community, because it allows the casual fans to kind of participate. It allows other collaborators, artists to perform and be a part of a moment. You know what I'm saying? And then it gives you the opportunity to create different avenues financially. Like, I'm not sure if you like sold merch or, you know what I'm saying, you know, ticket sales or this, that, and the third. You know what I mean? And then it gives you an opportunity to help, you know, build a rapport with these businesses like the coffee shops. Because, like, right now, are there plans of doing another one?
Another detour? If I do another detour, it'll be across America and just me, like, traveling places. And it won't be, like, official. It'll just be, like, me going to open mics and just, like, setting up a camera on a tripod.
But even then, you can still set, like, you can still get, you know, I don't know do you do your own graphics?
Sometimes, like, I try not to, but, like, if it saves money on, like, the overall budget, I'll do it.
Because, I mean, even then, let's say if you got a bunch of people now will put, as long as they got a string of shows within a certain season, they just, all right, let me just go ahead and put these together. Dates, venues, time. It might not even give it a name, but just be like, these are my dates. And they put, like, you know, some cool picture that they did or whatever, put a little theme on it. And now that's their tour. And it could be festivals on there. It may be supporting someone else's tour or whatever. So it's like, people got to understand that, like, sometimes it's all about how you finesse it. And I think that,
presentation.
Like, at the end of the day. And I think that was the genius behind it, man. It's kind of like that type of thing that you did sparks interest in other people. Like, it sparked interest in me. Like, I was like, because I've been trying to put together a tour low key around Florida through beatsnchill. So it's kind of like, it's very interesting when I see other people do other things that, you know, that around the community. So I commend you for that, man. I think, is there like, so now that it's over, right? What is one lesson that you feel like, or one thing you feel like you could have did differently?
Honestly, I give myself an 82% on the entire tour.
Oh, you say 82?
Like, because I did, like I thought about it. I'm like, okay, where I started trying to get it, like the things that went wrong, I can't say were 100% my fault, but like it's just the accountability aspect. Like if I did it again, I would see that coming and just circumvent, like, well, not circumvent, but like I'll stop it ahead of time, you know, before it gets to a point where I'm like, oh shit, okay, it's gonna be a little bit more difficult. But I did the entire tour and I didn't have a car, so I'm like, hey, I did the best I could, you know, and like everybody who was a part of the tour got paid unless they adamantly did not want to get paid.
Gotcha.
That was all out of pocket. There wasn't a lot of funding involved in that because like it felt weird charging for a free show without being charged for the venue. And then I'd have to worry about somebody running the door, but I didn't have anybody available for most of it. And that wasn't another hat I was willing to put on. And then halfway through the tour, when I just kind of saw the trend of it, I started working on another album. So the tour would just roll into that next album. Gotcha. So I'm like, all right, cool. Like I'm making the most out of everything, even if it's like going downhill. Because I don't think it was a bad tour, but for the first time trying to organize something like that, because it wasn't just a string of shows that I'm popping into and performing. Gotcha. It's like a string of shows where I'm involved with all the parties in it, the venue owners, the artists, the audience members, all that. So I'm like, cool. 82% for the first go around. If I did it again, it'd have a whole nother approach, and I think I'd prefer to do it with somebody else as the main performer. And I'll just focus on the event coordinating because I enjoy that a lot more than performing currently.
Really?
Yes.
I take, that's kind of like, that was kind of like my route. Yeah. Like I started out just rapping and then having to just put together my own release party or something like that. Yeah. That's why I got that firsthand experience of just putting a show together, reaching out to a venue, reaching out to somebody to make the flyer, right? And then getting into doing the events, coming up with an idea. I just like the fact that I was able to create a space for people to do some of the things that they love to do for the first time. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Or I'm getting a chance to hear music that I didn't know that was around here that I actually like for the first time. You know what I'm saying? So that was why I really liked it. You know what I mean? And I think like it just kind of kept going from there. It's like, oh, when you get that feeling, it's like, nah, I need more of that. I got to keep doing more cool shit like that. So for sure. Is it, or do you see yourself where now it's like, all right, I did this in Tampa, I'm in St. Pete, whatever. Are you looking to like move to another area? Well, currently I'm trying to figure out what my next move is as far as like location. I know right now, as far as performing in Tampa, like I'm stepping away from doing that. So if I do anything in Tampa, it'll just be like behind the scenes. Gotcha. Or like feature verses and collaborating on music specifically instead of like live performance. And then I'll try to like just crank out as many live shows outside of Tampa area. But yeah, I'm thinking about moving. I'm just finessing budgets. Gotcha, yeah. And seeing like, to. Yeah, like I'm looking at money I haven't touched in a long time. Like, okay, is this worth it? Right. Is this the right time? You know, just trying to like figure things out. Because like, it's interesting, like based on the music I've been making, I've been paying attention a lot to the market. So I just kind of know where we are housing-wise. And I'm just trying to figure out if it's worth staying here for that amount of money for like the space I would need. Or just experimenting somewhere else for the same amount of money. Yeah. And just going from there. But I'm always trying to be involved in some type of way on some like ambassador type shit, you know? Okay. Because like ambassadors are never really like where they are from. They're just all over the place. Got you, yeah. And I think once you start moving around, you start realizing how close everything is. Like it's big, but it's like everything's obtainable. Like it's nothing that's just like, why can I not just go to Atlanta? Why can I not just pull up in New York, you know what I mean? And then it just like expands your thoughts on like ideas that you already had. What is what advice would you give to someone who is probably where you were? Like, hey, I want to do something with this project. I want to make music, but I'm tired of putting it out the same way as everybody else. How can I start this idea that I have in my head? Like, what advice would you give to that person? I think for me, like for about 5 years, the number one thing for me is just get a budget together. Once you have that, everything's a lot easier because you know what you can and can't do based on your budget. And then if there's something you want to do that's not in the budget, that's when you got to call in a couple favors, lean in on those relationships, and just keep going. Because like if it doesn't get done now, it doesn't mean it can't get done ever. Right. You know, like the first show on the Coffee Shop Detour was me performing on top of a moving truck. I was trying to do that like years ago. I just couldn't afford to do it then. And I also had a crippling fear of heights.
until recently. So like that wasn't really a thing, but like just like keep the ideas in the back of your mind until it is feasible, and then just get it done then. You know, because like, if you're still alive, it can still get done.
Gotcha.
But yeah, I think the number one thing for me is budget. Like, I don't do anything if the budget doesn't look right. Sometimes the budget is fucked up, but I at least know it's fucked up. So like I just go in knowing, okay, the budget's gonna be fucked up, but this needs to get done like in this amount of time, and just figure it out later.
Right.
You know, like sometimes I'll borrow money from myself and just pay myself back. You know, but I don't want to make it about money, but everybody else will. So just get that out the way immediately. And, everything else becomes easier. Because you mentioned that, I think somebody who's doing a great job of like figuring out how to promote their music is Natsu. His project, like Sidetrack, is phenomenal, and the way he's going about putting out just like a 6-song project is blowing my fucking mind. Because it's like, yo, like this is a 6-song project. I've already heard it, but I still am interested in the next version of it. You know, he's made like different versions of one project, and now he's doing a release party December 11th at the Brutalist. I happen to be featured on the project, and he's already premiered it on local community radio, Excellent Zest. So I've already heard it, but like I'm like, oh, there's another version of it, and then there's also like an art installation that comes along with the project, and it's only available on CD for the first few weeks that it's out, I think.
Gotcha.
And he's been selling the CD this entire time, so I wonder if there's like a new version of the CD or what, you know?
Yeah, it's tight, man. Like I said, I think the more creative cats get out here, you know what I'm saying? It just makes the whole creative hip hop music scene that much more interesting.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because one idea bounces, another idea bounces, and now what we want is the casual, like, concert goers who just are casual hip hop fans to not only just invest when, you know, a huge artist comes to downtown or fairgrounds or whatever, right? But also invest into like the local scene too, and realize that it's not necessarily, it's value in that as well. And we're doing some interesting shit, man. So I commend you for that. I commend you for that for sure.
Like even his rollout inspired me to extend my album rollout.
Right.
Because I have one more single left. You know, so what I'm doing is just to keep people engaged. I'm still putting out projects. They're just not as big as the first album. But at the end of it, I want it to be a quadrilogy. So like 4 parts to one album.
Hold on, what you said? You said what?
So you know, trilogy. So quadrilogy. So like I'm a like package a quadrilogy sometime around next year, maybe 6 months from now. That's usually the best time to like put out projects nowadays. 6 months from now, I'll put like part 4 out of this project that I released last year. New songs, but it's just an extension of it. It extends the shelf life, and then the rollout is officially over.
Cool.
You know? Yeah.
Cool.
So like they'll all have the same album design, just different versions of it. I'm calling it the Mental Real Estate Quadrilogy. Yeah.
Okay.
That's the plan. Cause I'm like, okay, if he's stretched out 6 songs before it even came out, like I think the next phase is like, okay, we're not major labels, so we don't have the budget, but we have the time.
Yeah, you can always like you're not signed to a contract.
Yeah. So if I start doing like a real tour now, when it's just me going to different coffee shops, they don't know when the album came out. It's new to them, you know.
Right.
Yeah.
Cool, man. I'm definitely looking forward to like more ideas that you guys like. Definitely you specifically have, even if it's like, you know, you maybe want to expand the coffee shop tour outside of like the Tampa area. You know what I mean? Like I said, I think it was a really dope and inspiring thing. Like for those who, like for me, it's been a chaotic ass couple of months, but it's something that I looked at and I was like, yo, that's pretty dope, man. And I'm mad I missed it because I wanted to go to the finale or whatever. I think
it was at the warehouse.
Yeah, it was Reese.
Reese was on Natsu set.
Okay.
Razel did a beat set, and then it was just like a little chilled like dance party afterwards. Everything was free. Like the food was free. Baristas got in free. It was a $10 entry if you're not a barista. They didn't charge me for the venue, and then we got to perform on top of like coffee beans.
Yeah.
Cause like it's
I seen the video. I seen that. Yeah, that was dope. Dope.
The owner's dope. Jimmy and Joe Eastlick. Like they had a good time. He was making barbecue. Well, he was making burgers and hot dogs, and then I had like some waffles. he put that shit on the grill.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody was having a good time. Free sangria, free coffee, all donation based if you wanted to pay. But
Got you.
it was pretty chill.
Tight, man. Well, shit. I don't want to keep you too long, bro, to wrap. But what can we expect next from you? Or what can we find? Whatever, music or upcoming releases.
I'm tweaking it in real time, but the next project is called the Hospitality Concept. It's inspired by the Detour.
Mm-hmm.
So I want to like combine the real estate shit I've been talking about with the hospitality industry in Tampa, because I'm a hospitality worker. So restaurants, cafes, just the idea of bringing work to home and home to work, and just the interactions we have with our coworkers, with customers, as hospitality workers, all into this real estate theme that I've already kicked off a year ago.
Cool.
So that's the next shit. Like, that's what I started planning on halfway through the detour. I'm like, okay, new music. Like, every 6 months is a good time to put something new out.
I've been seeing the promotion that you, like, each song that you've been trying, like, I guess,
because my Instagram algorithm on stories is simple. If I use a white background and black letters, I get a lot more views. I don't know why that's a thing, but so for the rest of the project rollout, you're going to just see that. And it's cheap. Like, I just go on Instagram, I screenshot it, I'm just put it on my newsfeed, keep it moving. Like, I don't know, bro. Like, this shit baffles me. Like, the more simple shit you do, the easier it is for people to read it, apparently. So I'm chilling. Like, I use Helvetica. Yeah, I'm just keeping it simple, man.
Helvetica.
All you got to do is just tweak it a little bit.
For sure.
It look different.
Nah, man. Well, I appreciate you coming through, man. Here at Studio 22, appreciate you pulling up for the pod one-on-one with me for Beats and Chill. Hopefully, this won't be the last time we link. But thank you, and that's it, man. We can rap. You know what I mean? We good. We out.
Ain't it?